Okay, so it's been more than a couple of months now since I've had the Eliminator 450. I think it's high time for a short review of the bike. Yeah, just a short one though, and nothing technical. I'm no expert, that's for sure. So it's more of a personal review of the bike. Pretty much my opinion, experience, impressions. So take everything with a grain of salt. For starters, let's go over the specs of the bike as per the Kawasaki Philippines website. The 2026 Kawasaki Eliminator 450 or 500 as Kawasaki had seen it fit to brand the bike as is a liquid-cooled 4-stroke parallel twin cruiser motorcycle. It has a fuel injection and a displacement of 451cc, 6-speed transmission, wet clutch, a maximum power of 38.3 kilowatts at 10,000 RPMs, and a maximum torque of 42.6 Newton meter at 7,500 RPM. Fuel capacity of the tank is 13 liters. Now, Kawasaki puts the fuel consumption at around 100 kilometers per 3 liters, so that's a little over 33 kilometers per liter, giving the bike a range of around 433 kilometers. Dimension-wise, the Eliminator has a wheelbase of 1,520 millimeters with a ground clearance of 150 millimeters and a seat height of 735 millimeters. Single disc, dual pistons setup for both front and rear brakes. As for the suspension, nothing fancy, the standard telescopic front fork and twin shocks for the rear. Total curb mass is around 176 kilograms. As for ride features, the Eliminator has an upright riding position with mid controls. Wheels are 18 inches at the front and 16 inches at the rear. All digital instrumentation, round in shape with speedometer, tachometer, odometer, trip meter, fuel gauge, and gear indicator. It has ABS, assist and slipper clutch, smartphone connectivity via Bluetooth with LED headlights, signal lights, and brake lights. Lastly, just like the Vulcan S, the Eliminator is equipped with the ErgoFit system. For the Philippine market, the 2026 model comes in Pearl Lava Orange with a price tag of 366,000 pesos. With registration and processing, the bike can be had thus for around 375,000, give or take a couple or so thousand bucks. And with that out the way, let's get down to my quick and short review of the bike. While I eventually ended up shelling out for one, I had mixed feelings about the new Eliminator, particularly when I saw one in pictures. I was quite happy and interested that there was yet another cruiser for me to consider as my next ride, but there was just something off about the way it looked, first impressions and all that. It just didn't look like a proper cruiser, like a standard or a naked bike with cruiser aspirations. The mid controls and the upright sitting positions didn't help one bit. Having ridden it quite a few times already, however, I can definitely see now why Kawasaki considered it to be a cruiser. It had a relaxed riding position, the kind that made you feel that you're in the motorcycle rather than being on the motorcycle. If you know what I mean, a feeling that to me at least screamed cruiser. Coming from a 150cc underbone like the Honda RS150, I can definitely feel the difference in the power and torque performance of the bike, albeit the way the engine had been tuned and set up, the Eliminator offered a relaxed riding experience. It can get up to highway speeds around here, that's basically around the 80 to 100 kph range. Quite fast, but you won't really feel it until you are there. Now, I'm not talking about the wind here, mind you, but the way the bike felt while speeding up. You just don't feel it, man. At least I didn't. Yep, just a smooth delivery, a steady delivery of power. Par for the course for a parallel twin, I suppose. Now, that's not to say that you won't feel it if you are aggressive or jerky with the throttle. I mean, Even on a small bike, you would definitely feel it if you do that. I was very much delighted that with the bike's low seat, I could just about flat foot the ground while seated on the bike. This was really a big issue for me, not being all that tall, around 5'4", 5'5" ish for your reference. Sadly, yeah, short legs, man. Being able to flat foot the bike just gave me that much more confidence riding the bike, man. Helping with balance issues if and when they arise, which made for a more relaxing and enjoyable riding experience. I'm just that sort of rider and all that. And the seat was quite comfortable too. Soft but not overly so. I didn't feel any discomfort or pain riding the bike for a couple of hours straight. And I'm confident that even longer rides won't be an issue either. Of course, that really remains to be seen as I had yet to take the bike for longer periods of time on the road. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. It could just very well be, however, that I had gotten so used to a firmer cushion as the one on my RS150 that the softer seat on the Eliminator was heaven in comparison. That's not to say that I was uncomfortable on the RS150. Far from it, like I'd said, I had long since gotten used to the RS150 seat to the point of even finding it comfortable. Yeah, the RS150 seat was comfortable, the Eliminator's front seat more so. Now, one of the things that I was concerned about was the ground clearance. Speed bumps and humps being very much a thing around here, particularly in residential areas. Why, in just my block alone, I could count around 5 of the dang things. Some low, some high, some narrow, some wide. Not standardized at all, man. Fortunately, the Eliminator had ample enough ground clearance that I had yet to scrape the bottom when going over a speed bump. Yet, yeah. Here's hoping that would continue being the case. Aside from its awkward, well, not really awkward, but I suppose weird, I won't necessarily say ugly, cause it has a certain charm to its looks once you give it a second or third or even a fourth gander. So let's just say that there's something off or out of whack about its appearance. Not in an unattractive way, but in a way that makes you pause and ponder on what sort of bike exactly you are looking at. From my point of view, it looked like what you would get if the Vulcan S and the Z650 were to have a love child. Aside from that, cause I can say with some certainty that the bike's looks were slowly growing on me, like an irritating vine creeping up a wall. Yeah, aside from that, one thing that really bugged me about the bike when I first saw it was the off-center instrumentation. It was round, which was perfect for a cruiser, though unfortunately it was a digital one and not an analog one, but it was positioned off-center to the left. Really messed up the bike symmetry from the rider's point of view. Yeah, really bothersome to look at, man. Really triggered my non-existent OCD. Not a deal breaker, thankfully, and I was getting used to it. Still bothered me to some extent, but not as much as it did the first time I saw the bike. Thinking about it, I can somewhat understand why they did that with the instrumentation to save space more than likely as they put the ignition beside it on the right. Still, I can't help but feel that they could have done a better job at it. I suppose I should be thankful that they still opted for the circular shape for the instrumentation, as they could have very well opted to use a tablet instead. Friggin' tablet, man. Some call it progress, I call it a travesty. Yeah, still thinking about you, Honda, and what you did to the poor Rebel 1100. With its low center of gravity, the Eliminator felt light and easy to maneuver at low speeds. You don't really feel the bike's weight when going around the corner. Lastly, well, not lastly, I still have one more after this. Lastly, the riding position. Upright riding position with mid controls, although the mid controls were slightly forward, that with my build, height, and leg length, they were more akin to forward controls than mid ones. And with the low, sporty handlebars, I found myself bent slightly forward, All in all though, still a comfortable position. I suppose I could take advantage of Kawasaki's ErgoFit system, which the Eliminator had, to make the bike more comfortable and fit for my body. But like I said, there wasn't really, there's really no need for it in the long, all things considered. The bike was still quite comfortable for me. So, so I'll put this in the back burner. Not really all that much of a priority. Lastly, and this very lastly, the mileage on the bike, fuel consumption, the website, website tax it at around a little over 33 kilometers per liter. And from experience, city riding and all that, it's more or less the case. Thankfully, it's not all that much different from my RS150, a little over 30 kilometers per liter. So, that's good all in all. I mean, RS150, 150cc compared to Eliminator, 450cc. So that fuel consumption is quite good in my book. Yeah. And so that's it for now. Until next time, ride safe, man. Ride safe.